There's times that the kids had went to bed with no food.
The high cost of food forcing families to make tough decisions.
People will eat crackers so they can stay in their homes. And so what we hear is that we're the last kind of bastion of hope between them becoming unhoused and them being to stay housed.
Today, we're talking about hunger as we head into the holidays.
How did we get to this point of I'm really trying to figure out if I can afford to get a sack of potatoes and some chicken.
And how Bay Area groups are filling in the gaps.
I don't know what they do without the food bank.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Elizabeth Cook.
I'm Makovec in for Liz. And pay rent or buy food. That is a heavy choice facing so many families. And it can be especially tough during the holidays when there are so many expectations. Food banks are always there for our communities, but they can't do it alone. And this year, they can use all the help they can get. San Francisco police and fire departments faced off to see who can carve turkeys the fastest. It is part of an annual tradition held by the Salvation Army's Culinary Training Academy. 625 pounds of turkey will be prepared and delivered to about 500 people in the Tenderloin.
So it's a fun competition. We're going to get like 40 turkeys cut really quickly, but at the end of the day, we're going to put them in the food truck, take them and feed them to people who really needs it. So it's a combination of like fun, but then also like, you know, bringing the community together.
Police Chief Bill Scott and Fire Chief Sandra Tong broke a wishbone to decide the winner, and you see there, the fire department won. Millions of Americans worry about putting food on the table. Feeding America says that last year, more than 50 million people had to get help from food programs. Locally, the Alameda County Community Food Bank says that 1 in 4 people in the county is at risk of hunger right now. When one teenager in Dublin heard about the need, he mobilized his community to make a difference. Max Darrow has his story.
When 13-year-old Zion Kajani sets his mind to something, the young man from Dublin makes it happen. And lately, his mind is on helping others.
Like, doing good feels good.
Here, he's getting clothes organized for the Muslim Community Center East Bay's Refugee Bazaar, a regular event where they provide clothing and other essentials to people in need in the Tri-Valley and beyond. But this isn't his first time giving back.
During the holy month of Ramadan, when me and Muslims around the world were fasting, I kind of realized what hunger really feels like.
When he learned there are people in his community dealing with hunger on a daily basis, it really struck him.
I was just surprised, really. To be real with you, I think that I didn't really think anybody was very hungry in Dublin. You don't see people on the streets. You see people in nice homes, you know.
So, he and his friends got together.
We're like, why don't we do something about it?
Working with the MCC and the Alameda County Community Food Bank, they put together a food drive, collecting food from schools and others in the Tri-Valley area.
We were able to raise a good amount of money and help a lot of people.
Nearly $20,000 and enough food for around 40,000 meals.
To see that impact, like, fully fleshed out really made us feel like, yeah, we did something pretty cool.
The Alameda County Community Food Bank is operating at record levels right now. It provides up to 1 million meals every week to the community, and this year, a 500,000-pound increase in food going to people in the Tri-Valley.
Would you like some meat?
Sister Amina Abdullah is with the MCC and works with the Alameda County Community Food Bank and Zion.
So the need is definitely there. This past Saturday, we started distributing food at 9 a.m. and we normally continue until 12 p.m. By 10:40, we had run out of produce.
When asked about Zion, it was hard for her not to smile.
He's amazing. He and his friends are amazing. And even though you're young, you can have a huge impact and you can start changing the world.
As for Zion, his selflessness comes from the heart and a place of faith.
So I think the perception of Islam is slightly tainted in this society. And I think, like, Islam truly is about generosity and peace and helping others and empathy. Ramadan, like, a huge part of it, to me at least, is about empathy.
So whether it's food, clothing, or something else, Zion says,
just help people when we can. Perfect.
because it will always make a difference.
Really impressive work. Stay with us for more on our conversation on food insecurity here in the Bay Area. After the break, we're going to show you how some farmers are making sure that nothing goes to waste. Welcome back to our conversation on hunger in the Bay Area. According to a study by SJSU ScholarWorks, food insecurity rates in the Bay increased by 65% after the pandemic. A lot of people rely on organizations like food banks to survive. Veronica Macias shows us how the Alameda County Community Food Bank is taking a new approach to getting fresh produce.
Inside this greenhouse is where Troy Horton with Dig Deep Farms is helping grow all kinds of leafy greens.
We grow them in here, grow them up to a good condition. It's more climate controlled in here.
At Dig Deep Farms, Horton says there's always a constant cycle of agriculture through their regenerative farming technique. These leafy greens go through as many clipping rounds as possible before any replanting happens, and nothing is wasted.
Like having sovereignty over your seeds is just as important as having sovereignty over your food. Without seeds, there's no food. And so we try to do our part to save seeds and have seeds on hand.
Once his plants are ready to leave the greenhouses, they're transplanted into a field at Ardenwood Historic Farms. Here, Dig Deep Farms is working 53 acres of land by employing a small number of people like this husband and wife planting green onions. Dig Deep Farms may also be getting to the root of many problems. Growing these types of foods is helping not only feed, but aiming to prevent ailments growing in communities of color. Having these foods grown by hands of Black, Indigenous, and farmers of color is also pushing the concept of food justice.
The reality is that when you go to a pantry and you ask a person what brought them there, food is going to be probably the fourth or fifth thing that they say. A lot of the times they talk about issues around housing, healthcare, employment. And so the reality is that you cannot end hunger with food alone.
The Alameda County Community Food Bank is helping feed thousands of families and is helping distribute the collard greens grown at Dig Deep Farms. The food bank is also serving as an incubator, sponsoring the farm financially until it further develops and reaches independence. Already, though, the farm is making a difference.
I want the collard greens. We give away food 2 Wednesdays a month and the third Saturday of every month. So we usually have about 100 people on Saturdays.
Sharon, who is a pantry coordinator at an Alameda Baptist church and among many of the nonprofits who partner with the food bank, is picking up the collards delivered from Dig Deep Farms.
This will be a great help.
And with a growing number of people facing money struggles and access to affordable, nourishing food, this full circle moment is exactly how the Alameda County Community Food Bank believes they're achieving their new model of food justice.
That's one of the reasons that I got into farming, like to close that loop of like growing food for the community, for myself, and seeing it go out and do just that.
Well, joining me now is Reggie Young, the Executive Director of the Alameda County Community Food Bank. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the need this time of year. Is it actually worse, or is this just, the time we put a spotlight on it?
It is. It's been bad all year. In fact, right now, about 1 in 4 people in Alameda County are struggling with some form of food insecurity. Oftentimes, people are thinking that people have come back since the pandemic, but what we're seeing is longer lines at the pantries that are serving people in need.
And when it comes to people sort of doing their budgets and pinching pennies, food comes as sometimes a last priority?
Yeah, so what we like to say is rent eats first. And so a lot of people are paying their bills, paying for their childcare, and they don't have a lot of flexibility in their costs. However, food is one of those things in which they can get some flexibility to save money for other costs that they may have. And so you're seeing a lot of people who are leveraging the food resources in ways to support their other goals that they have in their household.
And what are the qualifications for somebody who wants to get help from the food bank?
Yeah, so we don't turn anybody away who needs food. In fact, one of the things that we know is that hunger is actually invisible. So a lot of times, people within your own neighborhoods, seniors, families with children, are struggling with food insecurity. And so we do not judge. We want anybody who needs access to the food to be able to have it. And so any location where we distribute, people will be served.
And so as far as getting help, donations, but also money, and I know that money usually is so much more helpful to food banks than food because you can make the money go so much further. How is that?
It absolutely is. In fact, every dollar leads to 2 meals in our community. In fact, going into this month of November, we have been down $1.8 million since the same time last year. And so we are actually trying to recoup a lot of the dollars that we need to get the food necessary to go out into community, both throughout the holidays, but then also throughout the rest of the year. And so right now, one of the great things is that up until throughout Thanksgiving, we are going to have a $75,000 match to anything that's donated to the food bank. And so now every dollar will lead to 4 meals in our community.
That is really fabulous. Talk a little bit about the need for volunteers as well, maybe if somebody doesn't have extra cash.
Absolutely. And so people can give with their dollars, but also people can give with their time. And in fact, we always need volunteers at the food bank to help us pack our boxes that go out into the community on a regular basis. We have shifts Monday through Friday, as well as 2 Saturdays a month. They can go on our website to identify when they want to come and volunteer. And in fact, we try to create a very fun environment for anybody who comes and volunteers at the food bank. And so volunteers are absolutely needed, not only throughout the holidays, but year round.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about year-round because this is the time, again, we put a spotlight on food banks and people think, oh, we want to make sure everybody has food for the holidays. But what is the importance of people thinking about this beyond January?
Yes, and so it's critically important that people think about this beyond December and throughout the rest of the year because hunger has no season. And so it's we have people who are struggling with food insecurity in July, in June, and so forth. And so even though a lot of people think about food insecurity throughout the holidays, the reality is that people in our community need our services throughout the year. And so we need volunteers throughout the year. We need dollars throughout the year. And it's really critical to ensure that everybody in our community has a meal throughout the year.
All right, before we go, tell us one more time about that match that's available.
Yes, and so $75,000. Every dollar that goes to us is going to be matched by up to $75,000 throughout Thanksgiving. And so please give freely, and know that it's going to a great place.
All right, wonderful. Reggie Young, keep up the good work with the Alameda County Community Food Bank. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And to learn how you can donate food or money or volunteer your time, you can use the QR code there on your screen or head to our website, kpix.com/give. For every dollar raised, a Bay Area family will receive 2 meals. And as we were just talking about with Reggie, when you donate to the Alameda County Food Bank, we're talking 4 temporarily. So good time to give. We're going to be right back.
Calendar brought to you by Broadway San Jose.
The Bay Area is kicking off this holiday season all weekend. In Danville, Father Christmas and the Snow Angel will help brighten the holidays with the 48th annual lighting of the Old Oak Tree. And at San Francisco's Chase Center, Winter Wonderland will take over Thrive City with treats, special guests, and a live performance, all leading up to a Christmas tree lighting. Broadway San Jose's Black Friday package is now on sale through Cyber Monday. Choose 3 shows for just $99. Secure seats to blockbusters that are not on sale for single tickets yet when you subscribe today at BroadwaySanJose.com. The event calendar is brought to you by Broadway San Jose.
Thanks for watching. You can always get all the latest headlines and weather over on KPIX Plus. And remember to like and click the button on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe for the biggest Bay Area news.